All right, JAG University, Kevin, talking about becoming an adult,
Okay.
right? Life's just got a little bit more real. I'm not talking about having your first beer. I'm talking about you're now off your parents' auto insurance policy, right? You got your first car, you saved up for it. Now here comes, the financial independence. Let me ask you, for people getting into that now, what's the first piece of advice you think you should give them?
Okay. And, we did an earlier episode on this about risk retention, right? So, similar to most people, when I was on my own, out of college, had to start buying my own insurance for my own car, you got to kind of pick and choose what you can afford, your trade offs, and maybe sacrifice a little bit to kind of keep things moving. What I always think is, what can you not afford? Worst case scenario, what can I not afford? You probably can't afford to be sued, right? So if you're driving,
100%.
I mean, you hurt somebody or get in an accident.
It's the unknown loss, right?
Yeah, it can get huge. Anything can happen. You can get sued. So most young people out of school trying to make it don't really mind driving around with a dinged up bumper. But a $40,000 lawsuit for a fender bender, that's really going to kind of stunt that growth when they're trying to hit the ground running and grow up, So I remember when I got out of school, my car wasn't really worth a lot of money, maybe a little less than 10 grand.
Mustang, right?
Yeah. And
what was the nickname? Red Velvet or something?
I wish, but it was I made the decision. I'm like, okay, comp and collision, while nice, it was adding in like $100 a month to my premium, and I might as well just get more liability coverage, so I know I'm not going to get sued, and just be extra careful and don't park my car in any sketchy streets, and kind of hope for the best on the physical damage side.
And you did that because you looked at the value of the car versus your deductible.
Exactly.
It was kind of a risk reward, right?
Yeah, the deductible was a quarter of the value of my car. At that point, I mean, what could even happen if it's a total loss? I mean, I'm not really even getting enough money to buy a nice car after that. And I was doing fine. So I figured, hey, I'll just stop worrying about getting sued and I'll just be a little extra careful with the car. And it paid off. It's I didn't get in an accident. So
I mean, and that's and it's difficult. So obviously the most expensive, auto insurance, go on your own. Not leaving, because your biggest credit is having that multi-car discount, right? And you kind of, even if you're paying for it, but under your parents' policy, it's kind of a fake rate. I don't use fake rate, but it's a manufactured premium, right? Because you're benefiting on your parents' insurance score, their driving record, and the length of car ownership. So going on your own, and it even makes a big difference too. Like if you're just starting off, even if you're 16, 17, 18 on your parents' policy, just like understand that the responsibility you have driving those cars and any potential accidents and incidents, they're going to affect you in 3 years as well. So all those things can add up big time.
Yeah, exactly. So your actions have a little bit more consequences. You might have to make a trade-off, but I guess that would be my advice, was just not to skimp out on the liability, because a lawsuit when you're in your early 20s or you're getting started, I mean, that's a horrible way.
No, talk about financial detriment, right?
Exactly.
Plus on top of your student loans too.
Yeah, you can buy another car, but you can't really just buy your way out of a lawsuit.
Right.
I mean, you probably can't afford to anyway if you're debating between physical damage and liability. So it's that's what I would do. I would recommend getting more liability, preventing against the big event, and the smaller stuff, just kind of be careful and be aware of what you're exposed to.
So what was the nickname to the Mustang? No nickname?
Didn't deserve a nickname, really. No.